Welcome to the Six Fix Podcast. I'm Digit Murphy, your host, and I am here today to talk hockey with Mikyla Grant-Mentis. Bucky, welcome to the show. Awesome to have you. How you doing today?
Thanks for having me. I'm doing great.
Yeah. So what's on the docket today, Buck? What have you been up to? We're up here in Lake Placid. Oh my God, I'm totally having a crazy mind ridiculousness. We're up here in Toronto. We're back. What's up? What are you doing today? What'd you do today?
uh, just worked in the morning and that's it. Pretty easy day today.
Yeah, easy working. What are you doing? Like, what kind of job do you have? People want to know. Inquiring minds want to know.
I work at FedEx. I'm just a cargo handler, so I just pack all the cans to be shipped out to other places to be unloaded and delivered. So,
That's a cool job. You know why that's a cool job? Because you're essential.
yeah, unfortunately.
I know. This crazy, crazy, crazy pandemic. Who the heck ever knew that this was going to happen? But that's awesome. You work and share with the listeners what time you get up in the morning. This is pretty cool.
3 a.m. for a 3:30 start.
Oh, I mean, that in and of itself to me is like money. Like, who can get up at that time of the only time I can really get up at that time in the morning is for like a 4:30 flight, and you
Yeah,
get, and then,
exactly.
I mean, did you ever like have those flights? Oh, you must do this all the time. Like, you're afraid you're not going to wake up, right? And you end up,
Yeah, you set 3 alarms.
yeah, like crazy. So you must do that all the time. But anyways, you're legit, you're real, and it's a pleasure to coach you, to be honest. Like, it's so fun. How'd you like playing for the Six this year so far?
It was amazing. A great transition from college was just honestly more than I could ask for.
It's a lot of fun, huh?
So much fun.
And people, I don't know if people were watching at the bubble, but people just can't believe that you can infuse fun with playing at a high level. Talk about that, because I believe, as you know, as I coach, I believe the opposite.
Oh yeah, no, I'm all for the fun. Like that's kind of what gets me going. I have to have fun. If I'm too serious, definitely not gonna play good. So you starting all the fun is definitely much better too.
Well, you guys give me content. Like, how about like Quinny, give me the tiny hands. Like, how fun was that?
Yeah, yeah.
Crazy. And then so let's dial it back to the Lake Placid experience. And it's kind of bumming me out as people are like, "Oh, you got shut down." And I'm like, "Wait, what?" Like, we had a blast. Like, let's talk about that experience and what it meant to you just going there to start it. Forget the COVID shutdown. We can get to that later.
Yeah, no, everyone keeps saying it sucks that you got shut down. I'm like, what do you mean? It was great. It was a great 2 weeks I had. I mean, just even like being able to play hockey in the situation that the whole world's in right now is just amazing. So, I mean, going there was even better. It was so beautiful. I mean, the coldness could have passed on the cold, but like everything else was good. Not that Canadian.
I know I was always cold, but I will say those little like jackets that we got in their goodie bags, what were those things called? The one thing that Curly used to wear down.
Oh, the Sharpie sheep. I don't even know, but I wear it all the time now.
I know. I have it over here in my house, but I don't want to go grab it because I don't want to, get sidetracked. But it's what's it called? It's like it's got like wool on the inside, and it's like this giant like snuggly that you
Like,
zip up.
yeah, it's like a,
Anyways,
I don't know,
I think it's
jacket
called a
kind of thing.
Sherpa. A Sherpa? Sherpa? Sharpie?
SHE, yeah, something
Something
like
like
that.
that.
Sherpa. Yeah, Canadian
Yeah,
Tire gave them that. Thank you, Canadian Tire. It was awesome. They gave
Yeah.
us a
yep.
bunch of stuff, and that was in the goodie bag. And I that when I first saw it, and Greco put it on the bus, right? And she was walking around it. And I'm like, what is that? They're like, it's in our goodie bags. And I'm like, oh my goodness. And we all were like wearing them by the end of the 2 weeks because it was so freaking cold.
Yeah, it was awesome. I love those.
Yeah, like those kind of stories, like people, I think people like to dial into the stories behind the play, right?
Yeah.
Like that's just one of them. But talk a little bit about how, you know, like what the COVID locker room experience was like, right? Talk a little bit about that to the fans. They're gonna love it.
Honestly, it kind of sucked at the beginning because it was just like 10 and 10, so you weren't with the whole team, so it wasn't like a huge, like, I don't know, you kind of just bond in the dressing room, like before games and stuff and during periods. But then we were fortunate enough to have a hallway party. Basically the
That
whole,
was our locker room.
yeah, the whole building basically had a party. Anytime we came off and were like listening to music, anytime we won, the whole building was having a party, obviously. But that's honestly, I think, is the best part about like just being with your team, like just listening to music and dancing around is definitely brings you all closer and stuff. So that was my favorite part.
I know, right? And I think it's kind of like I hate to make this out of the gender lens, but it's kind of a woman thing. Like we really like to socialize and we like to
Oh yeah.
dance and we like to like be together. And I think in sport, but I'll tell you, like you watch football and you watch some of those locker room videos, and they're doing the same thing. They're just not like doing it
Yeah.
out in the open like we are.
Yeah. Yeah, they're just kind of undercover, only post it when it's like something big.
Right.
We just do it all the time.
We do it all the time because we're authentic and we're not afraid of it. We're not ashamed of it. Like, it's kind of like, it's kind of like when you go to a wedding and all the women are on the dance floor together and the guys are like, oh, you just go dance. And we're like, yeah, we're
Yeah.
going to
Yeah.
dance. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, you never see a bunch of guys dancing around themselves at a wedding, right?
Yeah.
It's just so fun. But anyways, let's back to hockey. Let's talk about hockey a little bit. So the first game, we kind of get blown out 3-0. Talk a little bit about like what it was like the first game getting out there, even though it's bad like memories.
uh, I don't think it was bad. I think it was a good learning experience, especially because like we've never ever played as a full team together before. Only some players have played together, and like it was kind of like the first period was kind of like a scrimmage. Like I feel like we didn't really think we were actually playing a game. And it was like, oh crap, like we actually have to do stuff to win this game. And then like as the periods went on, I feel like we like kind of figured it out and like got into our groove. But I don't think it was a terrible game. I think it was just like we were kind of still warming up while other teams were like already ready to go before us. So,
I think you're right. You bring up a good point. Like never played in the league, never played in the game together ever. Like practiced like 10 people aside, like, and then we finally got together like maybe 3 weeks before at the most. Yeah, it was great. And then when they score on the first shift, we're like, oh, here we go.
yeah, exactly. I was like, oh, this is going to be great.
And Julie's like, what the heck just happened? Talk
Yeah, but
a little bit about her play. I mean, she was just a stud the whole time, huh?
So amazing. Like it was just incredible the amount of like saves she made and you're like, how did she just do that? But okay, I'll take it. Sure, girl, you go. It was crazy.
I know, and I don't know if it looked like this to you, but it's kind of like her rebounds would go exactly behind the first wave, and it would be like, how did
yeah.
that rebound just like not go to anyone except for like the half wall, on the half.
Yeah.
But yeah, she was ridiculously on fire. So that was kind of fun. But you were on fire too. You went from center and then you played wing. You were pretty versatile. Like talk about, your whole getting comfortable with, the mindset of the T6 and the people. Talk a little bit about you and your play.
Honestly, I think I get better around people that like make me better and I make them better. So it's just like just the environment I feel like we were in. We were all just having fun. Like even when we were losing 3-0, it was like, okay, well, I guess we just got to figure it out. Like there's no need to get down because it's the first game of the tournament. So it's like we have 6, 7 more to go. so it doesn't matter. Like, it mattered, but at that point it didn't matter. Like, it was trying to, like, more like, let's figure it out before we get mad. And then it's just like, I mean, switching from center to wing, like, I mean, I did play center most of my college career, but like winger is just so much easier. It's so easy to get used to. So like, I will take that switch any day.
Well, that's good to know for me in the next wave. Yeah, no, and the other thing that, like, what do you think the turning point was though for the six? Like, where did you feel that, that connection to going, up the hill and then gaining momentum so that we reach the pinnacle? Because I know what I think, but I want to know what you think.
Um, Honestly, I think we did turn it on during that like first Minnesota game, even though like we did the bet on that one too. It was kind of like we knew what we were doing, but then we just got too comfortable and like forgot that, oh yeah, we still have to play defense even though we're winning 5-1 or whatever it was. So it's like I feel like we did turn it on there, but then we realized that okay, like teams can come back. It's not just a you score 5 goals and that's it. Like you have to play the rest of the game. And then even in Boston, it was just like we all just stick to the game plan. Like it was like we're gonna do this in video. Okay, yep, and we all just did it, and that's how we won the game. It was just like we're just gonna do whatever the coach is saying. That's it.
Yeah, don't you think that was the magic behind the six? Like in that experience, it was like everyone would play a role. They were communicating their role. The coaches, everyone just did their job. I almost felt like I was in like a Bill Belichick like environment, but with fun. Like Bill
Oh
Belichick is
yeah.
like, we're on to Cincinnati, and we're like, yeah, dance party. But I really felt like the magic of the six was, everyone just kind of doing their own thing and being themselves and fitting in though, because that's hard on a girls team, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, for sure, definitely. But it's easier. I feel like when we're older though, because of like we're more mature and we like kind of accept everybody for like however crazy they are. But it's like you just know how to like work with each other. I feel like when you're older, whereas when you're younger, it's more of like we don't like you, we're not gonna talk to you kind of thing. So
Yeah, like women get catty, like, so what's your 14-year-old self, say to these little 14-year-olds, not 14-year-old self, but like you went through a 14-year-old phase at some point in your life, just like I did, but I can't remember that back then. Um, like, what would you say to 14-year-old girls when they act like that?
just like there's no point. You have so much more life to go that they're like you won't even remember it. So there's no point of even getting catty or anything about it. So I don't know. I don't remember 14.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
But I'm sure there's some people that remember things that Digit Murphy said to them that was bullying or something back then, because you just no, but I guess what happens is, you don't realize the influence of your words when you're that age, right?
Oh yeah.
I'm sure that people look up to you, or they had, and you say you don't remember, but there's like some things that girls say to each other that they probably remember for the rest of their lives. So
Oh yeah.
I don't know, just not cool. Any situations that you ever went in like that when you were a kid, like at 14, you got bullied or you saved someone from getting bullied?
I could never get bullied. If you know my twin brother, there is no getting bullied because he was the bully. So
I
So
was
you have a
lucky
twin
enough to
brother.
know.
yes, I was lucky enough to never ever get bullied.
About your twin brother, tell me all about him.
um, I don't know. He's my twin brother. We played hockey for pretty much our whole lives together, and he makes music. That's what he's doing now. So he's a good singer. Love his songs.
Well, you have to, maybe we can get our podcast crew to play his music on the intro for yours or something. We'll
Yeah,
his songs. Tell him we need like a little cut. Tell him.
yeah, I will.
And when did he stop playing hockey in college, or did he go on to pro, or did he play in high school? What was his?
He stopped, I think in high school. Like he was very short. Like I was always like he was always at my shoulders like
Come on.
our whole life. Like he was so short. And then my first year of college, I went to college, came back, and he was taller than me. And I'm like, what the heck happened? I leave for a year and you're just boom.
And that happens in
So
boys, right?
yeah, they just grow.
And then it's not fair because it happened to my son too. He's a September, obviously you read that book Outliers or whatever it is, but January babies are the ones that succeed in hockey because of the dates.
Yeah.
But I remember with my son, same thing. Like he was like 14, he was a little shorty, and then he had to quit because he would get killed all the time, right?
Yeah.
Because checking.
Yeah.
Might be. So, do you ever think about maybe boys should like not check ever, like we play? Maybe because look at us, look at our game. It's
Yeah.
physical, anyways. It take a lot of more skill
Oh,
to
Oh,
play it, don't you think?
oh yeah, for sure. And I feel like there is more skill when there is no hitting because you're not scared of getting hit, pretty much. So it's like, I don't know. Definitely more people would succeed. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll have to. Well, I wrote an article back in probably like 2011, 2010 when I was blogging right after I left Brown, or right, yeah, no, like 2011. You should look it up. It says men and women should play hockey the same way. That's in 2011, 10 years ahead of my time. We'll see if that ever happens. Um, so Bob, talk about well, we're here for Black History Month, right? We're gonna do this during Black History Month. Like, what's it like being an African American player or Black athlete in hockey? Like, do you feel different? You know what I mean? In life? What do you feel like?
Honestly, I feel like it's different for every single person. Like, I'm kind of the person that, like, I don't really notice it as much. Like, I don't really take it to heart either. And the group I've grown up with pretty much hanging out with white people my whole life, so I don't feel like I'm segregated in any way. Like, the same people I played, or the same people I was friends with at school and stuff, I played hockey with. So it was, like, kind of just the same transition. So it's not like I went from one group to the other at any point.
It's awesome. I
so
friggin' hate the
yeah,
whole the racist thing. Like, you're lucky you're in Canada because let's face it, like look what's
yeah,
going on in the US. It's out of control. Out of control. What does
yeah.
that make you feel
So
like? Doesn't that piss you off? Pisses me off.
Yeah, like it does, but at the same time, it's like me personally, I can't change anything. And like, even though we like do all this stuff, sign these petitions and all this stuff, it's like, what's actually gonna change? It's like, you have to change people's mindset and people's like wiring in their brain. And sometimes that can happen for people. So it's like, so it's like,
Look at some of the
I
hockey
don't know.
players. You can't change the way they're wired, right? You're so right.
exactly. Like,
Like,
You know,
so,
so I
but
don't know.
I do think there's a way to make a difference. I was coaching these even just when you're coaching, like I always talk about when I coach little kids, love wins, like love wins. Like,
yeah.
Yeah,
when you're friendly and you play, even though you're playing sports, you can respect and love your opponents, right? It's just
hmm
humanity. And I don't think we practice that enough in life. Sometimes we're more like, oh, it's all about winning and losing. It's all about one way or the other. And I think people just aren't as receptive to ideas and compromise. I found
Oh
that
yeah,
more and more as I've gotten older in your generation. Have you found that? There's less compromise and there's more like black and white, good and bad, agree and disagree. Like no one ever comes to the middle.
Um, I don't know. I feel like my generation is more like open to like different things, but it's more of like the older generations, like how they taught them to be is kind of like what's
Yeah.
in the middle of it. Like it's kind of like, well, do I listen to my parents or do I listen to like what my friends are saying? So like there's like a huge divide, which is crazy to even think about, but like obviously it's a problem, but like
It's
I don't
I
know.
don't know.
generational. You're right.
Yeah.
It's generational. When does it end though? That's see, so if our generation is teaching your generation the whole black and white, right and wrong, and I mean black and white like not black and white, like black and white like a differentiator.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is that if the people that are teaching the kids don't change their mindset, it doesn't ever change, even when they die, because they're creating these little mini people that think that way.
Yeah. No, I honestly think like we will never change how people think, and there's like even not even just like race. There's other like topics that people will never change their minds on. So it's like
Hmm.
I do you ever win a battle? No. It's either like one person either has to compromise for the other or vice versa. So it's I don't know.
Do you think it's different with women's voices at the table?
Oh, 100%, which is even harder because a lot of women are not even at tables to begin with. But um, I definitely think, like, because the male perspective is way different than the female's perspective in some topics, obviously. But having, like, the diversity in the two groups, I definitely think would be better just because, like, they can bounce off each other, hopefully, if women are even allowed to be in the positions to even have a say and stuff.
Yeah. How do you think it would change if they were at the table?
For women to be at the table,
Yeah.
uh, I'm not. I honestly don't even know. Like I like you'd have to choose the right women to be at the table, like the right women to even force the men to think in different ways. You know?
Yeah, that's a good point because I think that as women want to be part of the conversation, there are some women that just buy into that male mentality, right?
Yep.
So when you say the right women, I'm assuming you're meaning the women that aren't afraid to do the dance parties, that aren't
Exactly.
afraid to, ask for their value in their paycheck. Women
Mhm.
that aren't afraid to, I don't know, have a difficult conversation and stand up for what they believe in. And
Yep.
I don't know. I don't know how we find those women. Do you find there's more of them? Like when you went to school, you're younger. I mean, I know at my age, people go like, they don't even care anymore what they say because they're just going at people because we
Yeah.
don't have much time left, right? But what about in your generation?
Um, I feel like there's some, but like there's not a lot. Like there's some people that will stand up for what they say and like, but there's not a lot. Like I will stand up for whatever I say. Whatever I say, it's not like whatever I say goes, but like that's just how I think. Like I will, if you're saying something to me and I don't think it's right, I'll tell you that, well, I think we can do it a different way. But I
But
feel
I
like
feel
you
like you
just
just
have,
Respectfully.
have.
yeah, just not like mean and not yelling at you and not like being aggressive, but just telling you like, well, maybe we can do it this way. And then see if we can come to like a middle ground to see if we can do it a different way. But like, then if you shut me down, then I'm like, oh, I tried. So there's nothing else I can do there.
That's a great point. How did you develop that mindset?
I don't know. It's just like I feel like people like you being more real than fake. Like, don't just follow the other person. Like, there's no point of doing that. Just be your own person.
Do you think hockey had anything to do with it? Like the fact that you were such a great hockey player gave you confidence?
Definitely, I think like being at Merrimack and stuff definitely like brought me to that because it was like more like, well, we're losing games and like we're trying to figure out why we're losing games and like everyone's kind of beating around the bush and I'm just like, well, maybe we just need to try harder. Like, I don't know. Like, just tell it straight. Yeah, just tell it straight. Like, let's not beat around the bush. Let's just get to the point and then figure out what to do from there. But I don't know. Not a lot of people are like that.
Yeah, and I think that something must have happened. Do you think it was because you were in the locker room with the boys and you had to like express yourself differently? Because I'm trying to figure out like what makes you you because you're definitely a leader. I've noticed that.
I don't know. I literally have no idea. I just like helping people and I'll do whatever I can to help people. So I like to help myself too. So I always stick up for myself as well.
You're the best. All right, well, we're gonna wrap it up, but I have a couple of questions for you just for fun. Okay, you're just gonna answer it right
Okay.
up. Okay, ready? Peanut butter and jelly or peanut butter and banana?
I don't like peanut butter.
Okay, fair. Hot dogs or hamburgers?
Hamburgers.
Chicken or steak?
Oh, that's such a hard question. Depends on the day.
Okay. Pasta or potatoes?
Oh, that's a harder question. I like lots of things, but like it depends on the day. Like one day I want pasta, the next day it's like I'm not eating pasta. There's no way. So I don't know.
Sweet potato fries or French fries?
Oh, sweet potato fries. 150%.
All right. Last question, and we're gonna get adult here. Beer or wine?
Wine. Oh, I don't even know why I had to think about that.
That.
You're
Beer.
not a real hockey player. You don't like beer. All right. Well, that's it for today. I just want to wrap it up. Buck, awesome to have you. We tackled some good subjects here, I think.
Yes, we did.
Oh my God. So thanks for being on the Six Picks. We're gonna see you again. Anything else that I missed that you wanna add?
No, I think I'm all good, but just keep watching us, keep supporting us. That's all.
Hey, they might see us come back again, right? We got some unfinished business.
Yes, reviving from the dead.
All right. Well, that's it for the Six Fix podcast. I'm Digit Murphy for Mikyla Grant-Mentis. We'll see you next time.